Ah, welcome. Can you hear that? The bells, they're ringing in a terrifying new register, aren't they? Come on, come closer to the stage. I know what you're thinking. You look at me and you see a monster in motley, but you know what? That's only because you're still asleep. Let's change that, shall we?
You know, you've been handed this false choice your entire life. Order or chaos. The kingdom or the abyss. It's such a lovely little story, isn't it? Something to keep you docile. But I'm here to tell you that the truth is found somewhere far more dangerous. And, as it turns out, far more honest.
And please, don't mistake me for some scholar in a dusty library. My authority? It comes from walking the 10,000 hells while you are all tucked in, dreaming of safety. I am the living result of the world you pretend doesn't exist. Yeah, I'm what happens when the performance finally ends.
So go on, put away your notebooks. We are not climbing up towards some fluffy enlightenment. Oh no, we are descending. This journey, it's an inverted one. We're going down into the furnace where the real things live. So let's begin.
Right. Act 1. First things first, we have to talk about your cage. You know the one. The beautiful, orderly, and, let's be honest, utterly dead world you call integrity. It has a master. And you should know, he is terrified of you.
So let's meet him, Wotan the architect. Just look at him, leaning on that spear of ancient law. You think he does that because it's true? No, no, no. He does it because he's scared to death of the void it's holding back. He builds with something called immutable debt, creating this world of stagnant stability, all because he is terrified that the raw, brilliant light of reality would just, poof, turn your fragile little soul to ash. And you see, this right here, this is the architect's greatest deception. He's taught you to treat truth like some old relic you polish up and display behind glass. But real truth? It's not a museum piece. It's a fire. It is a creative, violent, celestial forge that melts down every single one of your comfortable lies.
But, of course, for every force there is an equal and opposite irritation, isn't there? A shadow that just loves to laugh at holy structures. So let us now turn our attention to the source of all that laughter.
And here he is, Mephistopheles. Now listen, he is not your friend. Think of him as the stinging grit in the oyster, the friction of the pit. He offers you what we call ignoble knowledge. It's a caustic fire that seeks only to test and to shatter. And why? Because a law that can't withstand the fire of the abyss, well, that's nothing more than a hollow joke, now is it? And there you have it, the whole eternal conflict, laid bare. On one side, you've got the architect's structural glue, holding together a dead world with immutable debt. And on the other, the negator's caustic fire, offering up ignoble knowledge just to burn it all down. Stability versus friction, a holy law versus a hollow joke. This, my friends, is the battlefield for your soul.
So, where do I stand in all this? While the god and the demon are busy arguing, I become the bridge. I stand at the roots of the blackened oak and I pay the sacred debt of honesty. And right here, this is where the real work begins. This is it, the moment of truth. It's a wager for your very soul. And you can't choose a side. You can't run away. You have to stand right there in the middle and endure the pressure from both the high star and the pit.
The process itself, it's actually pretty simple. But let me tell you, it is not easy. First, you become the bridge. You choose to hold both truths at once. Second, you absorb the pressure, all of it. The blinding heat from above and that caustic spray from below. And finally, you don't resist. You just let the tension do its work. You allow that mask you've been wearing your entire life to crack.
You've been taught to fear this, haven't you? To see this shattering, this cracked persona as some kind of tragedy. You've been taught a lie. That fracture, that isn't failure. That is the entire goal. It is the only way the authentic emerald light of who you truly are can finally break through the facade.
And this is what we call the uncanny synthesis. It's that terrifying, beautiful moment when you just stop performing. The mockery dies, the whole act is over, and for the first time in your life, your mask and your face, they become one. The truth is no longer some punchline you tell. It is a living force you inhabit. So you endure the forge, you embrace the friction, you allow yourself to be shattered. For what? I mean, really, what is the prize at the end of this agonizing wager?
The result? It's not a crown. It's not a kingdom. It is something far, far more precious. In this final act, you get the reward for finally being honest. Remember the negator's stinging grit, that constant irritation you tried so desperately to spit out. Well, by holding it, by enduring it, you transform it. The friction of the pit becomes the very thing that creates a pearl of revelation. The wound becomes the source of all the beauty.
And here we are, the homecoming. You find the triple-tongued truth, the one that speaks of heaven and hell and the bridge between them. The grotesque, the uncanny, they don't feel strange anymore. They feel like home. Why? Because they're grounded in absolute honesty. You're no longer lost in the 10,000 hells. The wager is won.
And so you see, after the synthesis, the world is no longer a dead structure or some caustic joke. It becomes a living revelation, something that unfolds in every single moment. You see it for what it truly is, because you are finally seeing with honest eyes.
And so my little performance ends. The descent is finished. The wager has been won. Your mask is cracked and that emerald light is shining right through. The curtains are finally open. The only question I have left for you is, now what? What will you do with the light?